All right, guys. Here we go. Uh, hope everybody's doing okay out there. I have a couple talking points I want to talk about. Um, and so I had the day off today, so I figured I would go ahead and speak about some issues that really need to be discussed. And it's of the utmost importance to speak about these, or else we're not going to make it. And, you know, the war rages on. And it's continuing. Why is it that you can't even talk to people anymore? Why is it that uh, the you can't even have a conversation with strangers uh, anymore, or a club that you belong to for years um, has turned you away. There's no discussing anything. People are on their cell phones, and you can't speak with anybody. With you don't know what the person next to you believes. You don't know what they're thinking. This is all by design. We're being manipulated through our cell phones, and it's making it impossible to even have a conversation. And so I don't know where this leads. Um, but I do know this: if we don't even have trust in each other, if there's no social trust, um, then we're not going to make it. And it's really a sad thing to watch. Basically, what you're seeing is a social breakdown and a changing of the guard. New people are taking over. And there's nobody at the wheel. Um, we are devolving into a third world country. And what I mean by that is uh, a third world country is basically a country that everybody is against each other. And, you know, instead of coming together, we are dividing and going after each other. And I think that's by design. I think that's by design. Um, you can't get the truth anymore. You don't know what to believe. You don't believe the news media. You don't believe the college that you go to, or if you are still in college. There's nowhere really for you to go. The church is all but destroyed. The communities are all but destroyed. Um, Neighbors don't know each other. Um, you know, and so why? Why? That's the question. And where does this end? I don't know. I don't know where this ends. Um, but people are not forming families. People are not getting married, settling down, having kids at the rate that they used to. Uh, the women are on their phones posting pictures, begging for attention. Um, I don't know if they have anywhere or anybody that they can look up to. I don't think young women have anybody to look up to as far as role models, right? And so the pecking order is breaking down, um, and it's sad to watch. You're seeing basically the country go from a once vibrant, intact country with strong families, and you're watching the country devolve into basically everybody against everybody. And you cannot have a society like that, and it's only a matter of time before things in the physical world start breaking down. And what I mean by that is gas shortages, food shortages, um, water shortages, uh, rounding people up. I mean, this is where this ends. Um, all you have to do is look back 100 years ago. Look back 100 years ago at what was happening. And that is happening again. This is a failure by the previous generation to pass on the traditions to the next generation, to hand over the keys to the next generation. This is a failure of the previous generation to pass on the beliefs, the culture to their kids. And what you're left with now is basically everybody against everybody. And there is very little trust left. You can't trust your doctor. You can't trust your grocer. You don't trust the uh, the your neighbors. I mean, this is I don't know I don't know where this goes, but at some point you have to have some sort of trust in your institutions, and you have to be able to trust those that are tasked with running the country. If you can't trust them, which you can't, then you really need to look at the situation for what it is. And that's what's going on. You need to you might want to make plans to exit. I mean, this is a failure on every level: cultural, societal, um, of a once great Christian nation, which once believed in something, And this is basically we're turning into a country that doesn't have any belief system. There's nothing to tie us together to bind us together as free people. You don't have that anymore, and so inevitably, what you're wound up with is a country that basically um, uh, gives into its lower nature, which its lower nature is tribalism. Before the Great Enlightenment, what you had was tribalism, and I'm afraid that that's happening again. You know, and so my worry is I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know where this is going. Um, you know, it's okay. It's great if you live with your parents. If mommy and daddy is there to hold your hand, but that doesn't last forever. At some point, uh, you have to grow up. You have to become an adult. You have to have some sort of trust in the community at which you live in. If you don't have trust in the community at which you live in, then you can't have a functioning democracy. You can't have a functioning society. And I am putting myself at risk even coming on here and saying this. So, um, at some point, this is going to start showing up in the physical world. And what I mean by that is in the actual real world. The this um, devolution, if that's even a word, um, is going to start showing up in the physical world. And that means stuff like travel restrictions, gas shortages, food shortages, famines. I mean, there's so many things here that this can end very badly if we don't turn around and make our way out of it. And I think the only way to do that is to stop listening to the mainstream media, stop listening to the news, don't believe anything you hear on, okay? Um, and start talking to the people around you. Make And if we don't do that, like now, we're not going to make it as a society, and there's going to be a huge conflict. And does not matter how wealthy you are, does not matter. Um, you know, it certainly helps if you're wealthy, but um, if you're just a regular person out there who's struggling to make it, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. I believe this is a cultural and spiritual problem. You're watching, some of the things I'm seeing on a daily basis, you know, is horrendous. Um, and I think it has a lot to do with the internet and the fact that people are not really coming together and the division and the propaganda, right? So the propaganda is so intense that people don't know what to believe. And yeah, that's being done by design, in my opinion. In my opinion. And people believe it. So I don't know where this ends. If this ends in people winding up in concentration camps, if this ends up in a global conflict, I don't know. I don't know. Um, anyway, that's all I got to say. Hope you guys have a good one.